Good day, everybody. It's been pretty tough weeks for the market right now if you're in small caps and high growth companies, and therefore I had a look and wanted to check if there might be some possibilities to at least somehow get some gains during these times. And therefore I was thinking which companies might have low actual revenues right now and a lot projected growth, and comes in mind, at least for me, these aspects which have been hot in the last month or maybe last year. However, now they all went down as well, and since the deals have been striked or they have been wait for quite some time, this might be some possibility to take advantage of the situation. Because if they strike deals when the market is hot, then the valuations are sky high, and right now, as you can see, a lot of growth techs tumble a lot. This will also mean that these companies will probably tumble or even fall like a rock in the near future after the de-SPAC process. So just to make things clear, this is no financial advice, it's just my personal and private opinion about different stocks. And yeah, as you can see, the SPAC calendar right now open with the next shareholder meetings for the approval of the business combination of different companies. And the next one is QNGY, and as you can see over here on the chart, after the floor for the redemption has fallen, the stock also went down dramatically, and right now Thursday it went down more than 10%, and I'm afraid it might go even lower. However, that's not the company I want to have a look at right now. I'm more interested in CCAC, since they are combining with Quanergy, which is another LiDAR company, and the shareholder meeting is also on January 31st. So why did I say I'm more interested in this company? On the first hand side, if you have a look at the recent de-SPACs, there are 6 other LiDAR companies which have been de-SPACed before, and quite frankly quite some time before the company, and therefore they have an advantage for the first mover advantage, in my opinion. And these are, on the one hand, Austar, Velodyne, LiDAR, EY Technologies, Innovis, and IEV, or AI. So also, if you have a look at the share price right now of these companies, Austar, which is 3 from the initial $10 value, so it's down 70%. Velodyne is also down 65%. Lumina is one of the companies which is up recently, and so it's up right now 29%. EY is down about 50%. Innovis is also down about 65%, and AI Inc. is also down more than 70%. So in my opinion, this is a clear sign that this merger, in this case, will be a failure. Not a failure in a way that it won't go through, but at least for the share price after the de-SPACing process, it will be pretty bad. Alright, so this is the overall short summary. Bad timing right now, since the deal struck when the market was hot. Market is really bad right now, especially for the growth companies. Additionally, the comparable companies have been really performing really badly. And there's another thing which, in my opinion, is concerning, and this is, maybe not that big of a deal, but the company CCAC is a Chinese company, so I think it might not be welcomed that nicely, or it's general, I think right now not a positive, let's put it that way. And the other part, which in my opinion is more relevant, is that the management, in my opinion, has done a poor job. And I will show you why I think this. On October 29th, there was the announcement of the preliminary Q3 financial results, and the company expect the full year revenue to be 3.6 million for 2021. And if you have a look at the next announcement of the preliminary Q4 revenues, the full year revenue was 3.9 million, so it's even more than before. And this is also highlighted over here. This compares favorably to the company's plan of 3.6 million, which was outlined on the analyst day on October 27th. So this last one is important, and I want to show you why this is important. So first we have to go on the investor presentation for the analyst day, and as you can see, this is the revenue forecast in millions for the next years, and for 2021 they forecasted 4 million. So my opinion is the first thing which it's not really I think it's not transparent, because it says clearly 4, and I didn't find a footnote which says this is that is rounded. I mean, sure, you can assume it's rounded, however 3.6, so it's on the lower bar for rounding up. That's something which I don't like in general. And the revenue for 2022 is expected to be 18 million, 2023 83 million. So keep these numbers in mind, please, because I will switch now to the investor presentation from the initial presentation from June 2020 of 2021. So it's a year old now. And if I go to slide 25, you can see the revenue projections. And what do we see here? 2021, they have 7 million expected revenue, and 2022, 27 million, and 2023, 90 million. So switch back again. See, they lower the numbers dramatically, and not that much concerned with the 2023 numbers, but the 2021, which is the nearest future, which should be at least somehow realistically projected. They have, I think it's 50% less than they projected before, which 7 compared to 3.9. Yeah, okay, it's at least 40% less. I could maybe understand it if they would have been hit hard by the shortages. Didn't find any information about this. However, if this would be the case, then I would expect the company to communicate this so that the investors can get this info, and then they will understand this as well. Which I find more of a concern is the numbers for 2022, because it's 1/3 less, and in my opinion this shouldn't be that big of an impact from the shortages. And then everything afterwards, quite frankly, I don't really trust these numbers, because if they really fail to have some serious projections for the near future, I wouldn't really trust them for the 2024 and 2025 numbers, which is about 100x from last year. So okay, this was the first thing. So the next thing, I mentioned the companies which have been de-speccing before in the LiDAR community, and one of these companies is Auster. I think except for Luminar, there's the same comes true for the other companies as well. I want to compare Quanergy to Auster, and therefore I have a look at the Auster presentation of the initial investor presentation. The pro forma equity value is 1.8 billion, and the pro forma enterprise value was around 1.6 billion. So this was assuming a share price of $10. So right now, as I mentioned before, the share price is around $3, so the numbers are quite different. Yep, and I'll get in the calculator. So we have 555 million instead of 1.85 billion. And then definitely we also can subtract the cash equivalents or the cash, and which leaves us with around 275 million instead of 1.57 billion pro forma enterprise value. So this is quite a haircut. So this is interesting because we get to the most recent investor presentation, and if we jump to hold on to the slide 57, we have a look at the equity value, the pro forma equity value, which is around 1.35 billion, and the pro forma enterprise value around 1 billion. So this is, in my opinion, pretty much comparable. The valuation of Quanergy is a little bit lower, so in general this is the good time. However, now we can compare the numbers for the revenue projections, and they are over here for Auster on slide 25. And as you can see, in 2020 they already had 90 million in revenue, which is around the number which Quanergy expect to be getting in 2022. If I remember correctly, slide 54. Oh. Yeah, so next year. So they are 2 years ahead. And I think 2022 they have around 5x of the revenue, and 2023 they project around 3x. Hold on. Yeah. So around 3x 2023 and around 5x 2022. So if we come back now that the valuation of Quanergy is only a little bit lower than the initial valuation for Auster, at least I come to the conclusion that this will lead the share price of CCAC, then Quanergy, to go drastically lower. And in my opinion, it should be going at least to 3 or maybe even further down. So this is also the reason why I have been purchasing put contracts, which also means that I'm profiting if the share price goes down of Quanergy or CCAC. Therefore, please keep in mind that I'm biased, and I would benefit if the share price goes down. So, all in all, maybe this is some interesting information for you and something you can have a look in the future. However, I'm not sure if it's that obvious. Then normally there is no free lunch, so we should have a look in the future if this is sustainable, or maybe if it switches back again, that there are a lot of redemptions and therefore there might be some squeezes after the despecking, like Ironet or something like that. So this is something I'm really taking an eye on. And also, as I mentioned before, there are different companies which I'm also looking at. So this is Ivan, which is merging with CES Holdings, which they have a solid state battery, like not technically comparing it with QuantumScape, but just the broader market as QuantumScape is already in. I also expect them to go down a bit. I also have some put options, and therefore I'm biased as well. And the same comes for MCMG. I'm also invested in puts. I think two weeks ago they have had to delay the shareholder meeting, and if the shareholder meeting gets through, I also expect it to tank after the merger. So yeah, right now I think this is the way to go if you want to profit from SPACs right now. Not sure how long it will hold, and I hope in general that the market turns around so that all these companies I really like, high growth companies, and I think in the future they might really do well, will also perform a little bit better. But right now I think this is a way to withstand these tough times. Yeah, really interesting what you think about it, and maybe also if you're thinking that the market might switch back at least in the short term, so that there might be some squeezes again. And yeah, so might do some other videos like this in the future, and also just in general I'm bullish on a lot of SPACs, but right now not for a lot of SPACs which are de-SPACing right now. So all the best, and good luck to everybody, and see you soon. Bye.